I'm stepping away. NXT has provided me with countless opportunities and experience that are absolutely invaluable, but I've got a lot of responsibilities within the WWE.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey guys, we're here at the locker room. We'll talk about Corey Graves set to leave WWE, why NXT doesn't work for Corey Graves. You guys get the license as we come to the locker room, about to air some dirty laundry. Turnbuckle King here. We're talking about Corey Graves, who just recently went to NXT with the whole announcement changes, with Pat McAfee going to Raw, Joe Tessitore going to SmackDown. But it was a tweet here by his real-life brother Sam Adonis, who's also a wrestler independent scene. He said something that really caught my eye when he said something on X. He said here that it is not a work, and this was posted yesterday. So the whole Corey Graves, people are rambling about it's a storyline, it's fixed it to the whole thing. That's not true, because at the NXT episode for January 14th, Corey Graves did state in a tweet that he will speak on why he's not coming to NXT. However, on this recent episode, there was no mention of Corey Graves, nor was he shown at the NXT episode. He did not come to work. They say he was shown at the Orlando airport at 3:45 that afternoon. I don't know what time zone it was, but he did not report to work. So it is very heavy speculation that Corey Graves is going to pull a Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you will, and just not come to work and going to stay home, take his ball and go home, because he is very frustrated with the creative direction that he will not be on Monday Night Raw nor Friday Night SmackDown, that he feel like going to NXT is a demotion for what he's been doing. Now, Corey Graves, we do know as well that he's been announcing for quite some time in his career. Corey Graves, I mean, he's been announcing for years. But let's see what the tweet had to say here about his move from going with Raw to the NXT. He said it right here. He sent a tweet, imagine chasing your dream, then being told not to sign, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. He's referring to his wrestling career. Corey Graves previously wrestled at NXT as a competitor back in 2012, 13, and 14. I think he retired 2014. Let's move along. Then he said that you decided that then you dedicate your life to some dream adjacent, meaning announcing, and being pretty effing awesome at it. And then it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Then you're told you're not famous enough for your own job, meaning that they put the more popular Pat McAfee on Raw. Just in case you wonder where I've been. Now, that's the report on that. He also had more to say, more reportedly about this too. It says here, Corey Graves will not be appearing on tonight's NXT. Graves took to Twitter to express unhappiness with his current position, and then in a follow-up post stated he's got a lot to say on tonight's show. So he won't appear on tonight's NXT, but he does got a lot to say on tonight's show. There have been rumblings over the last several weeks that Graves wasn't happy with his positioning with the company. Are they playing a storyline, or he really isn't going to be that? We're going to see what happened on NXT tonight. Going to tune in tonight and see what's going on with Corey Graves. But that's current news that's going on with that. That is crazy, mad crazy. So with that being said, we're done with that. We're going to have to shift gears now. It's time to make the pivot. We're going to pivot from talking about WWE Raw, the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion Crown Street Fight, and now we're going to talk about with Corey Graves not being NXT, not showing up. There's heavy speculation, like I said before, where his future lie. I mean, it's pretty much a shocking departure, imminent. Now, we know that that the debut of Netflix was January 6th, and like I said, the team was Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on Raw, because you know Pat McAfee goes back and forth with the whole college football season, and then on SmackDown's Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore. Thing about it is, Corey Graves felt like he was the odd man out. He felt when he was set down in NXT, where he was with Booker T, Vic Joseph, He did look kind of comfortable. They said that Vic Joseph patted him on the back, if you guys saw that episode. And there's in the past, we had 3-man boosts before. It's been done before in the past, back in the Ruthless Aggression era and other times. But it's just, it's never been on NXT. I've never seen a 3-man boost for NXT. We've seen it on Raw, SmackDown even, but not NXT. So he's just unhappy about the whole situation. But I know also recently, Corey Graves back in, I want to say 2022, 2023-ish, he was cleared to wrestle due to retiring from an injury, because we know Corey Graves started off in this wrestling industry as a wrestler. He did an interview with Chris Van Fleet and his wife Carmella about it.
Being in the ring.
I miss certain aspects of it, but I've actually grown to love doing commentary. There's part of me that will never go away as a wrestler. I dedicated 15 years of my life and traveled the world and had tasted some success as a competitor. It took a long time and a lot of work and internal reflection to get to this point where I've now embraced my role and realized that this is my contribution to the business now. I may not be able to go down as one of the great intercontinental champions in history, which was kind of always my goal. But now I look at how broad my work has reached and how it still lives on in video packages and these moments, and some of the ridiculous stuff that I say ends up on t-shirts for other superstars. And I actually think I'm in a weird way leaving a bigger footprint as a commentator than I probably would have as a competitor. But I definitely miss it at times.
I feel like with a reality show, this just seems to write itself. It's you guys versus Ms. and Mrs. versus Ms. and Maurice.
The thought has crossed our minds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
We're open to it.
This is dropping a little bit too close to WrestleMania, because otherwise I would have put the push on really hard. But, SummerSlam's going to be big this year.
That's true. That's true. You never know.
Well, there was this recent report out that you are now cleared for in-ring performance. Is that actually true?
It is factual. The news, for some reason, took about 8 months to break, which I'm sort of proud of and a little bit surprised in this day and age that I wasn't necessarily hiding it from anybody. It was just not something I was bringing to the forefront, because I didn't want everybody to go, oh my God, Graves is making a comeback. Because to our previous conversation, I love what I'm doing now. But there is a part of me that would just love that gratification. I'm a guy who, when I was wrestling, was primarily a villain. And to me, the gratification came as soon as the bell rang at the end of the match, because to me, there is nothing more satisfying than taking the crowd on a roller coaster ride and then losing. As a good guy, you usually have to, you stand up and pose and you have to mug for the cameras, but I would lay there on my back after the ref counted 3, and I would be looking at the lights and just thinking, yep, we did it. And that to me was always what kind of kept me going. It was just like that exhale at the end of all of it, and that was the most rewarding to me. So there's part of me that's still going to chase that forever. And I would be open to it if the opportunity presents itself to maybe step back in the ring once in a blue moon, or maybe just once. But the important thing is I got medically cleared, and now I'm just kind of going to see where the world takes us, because if that's what's in the stars for me is another match, or if it's a mixed tag team match, or it's me versus Pat McAfee at some point, whatever it ends up being, at least now I know that I can do it without putting my health at long-term risk, which is above all the most important. I got to be there for my kids and my blushing bride.
Were you looking to get cleared, or did you just go in for a physical and they went, hey, looking pretty good?
Well, there was a process to it. I had to take a few flights and see a few doctors and get several different opinions. And then I brought what I had obtained from my doctors to WWE, and they showed it to their medical staff. And then I went through WWE's testing protocols again to just verify. And I met all of the needs that they wanted to see. So again, I'm medically cleared. That doesn't mean, sure. I'm still listed on the roster as a commentator. I don't have come up in creative meetings that I know of as to how we get Graves in the ring. So I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. And if it presents itself, I'm going to be ready for it. But I'm not going to make myself crazy wanting to make another transition back to the other side.
No, we heard that interview. That was a while back. My thing is with Corey Graves, you've been cleared to wrestle. However, you have not said in an interview that you don't want to really pursue wrestling. You are comfortable in your announced position because you've done it for quite some time, done it for years now. Thing about it is, why haven't you, if wrestling was really your thing and you was a wrestler, why haven't you pursued that? Or is that your plan now that you have not shown up to WWE? You refuse to go to work. Are you planning on going back to wrestling? Maybe wrestling independent scene, wrestling like doing what your brother's doing? Because I guarantee you, Corey Graves, wherever you go in the wrestling industry, if you do plan on leaving WWE for good, you're not going to make nowhere near the amount of money that you would make in WWE, whether you was a announcer or a wrestler. And I know Corey Graves, he recently just had his fourth child and Carmella's first child back in 2023, and he has 4 children altogether and a wife who does not currently work at WWE, still on maternity leave. So I'm trying to figure out, Corey Graves, did you hit the jackpot, the lottery? I know you got money saved, I'm sure. How are you able to financially support your family if you're not working in WWE no more? That's my whole thing with Corey Graves. Why would you walk out at this type of situation? I don't know if you're taking a break or I don't know what the deal is with them, but whatever the case may be, even if Corey Graves do come back, it is not a good look on him and the reputation he's built with WWE, with the management, middle management, upper management. It will never be the same again, because this is not a good move that he did. Not a good move at all, because he's done a lot to get where he's at. I mean, the man, he's been announcing since 2014 back at NXT. So I don't understand why NXT stepped down from you. You did it before NXT. Now, granted, NXT was a whole different landscape. It was on WWE Network. It was not where it's at currently on the CW, and it's different people in charge. Triple H was in charge. He still is now, but we know Vince McMahon was the main man above all WWE. So I don't know what the deal with Corey Graves. I really hope he gets it together. He's been announcing for 10 years. He's been in WWE for years. He started back in the early black and gold days of NXT back in 2012. So it would be a waste to everything you worked so hard for, your reputation and everything, and to throw it down the drain. And also here, Corey Graves has said he's absent from WWE Speed commentary table for the first time. Says room been dropped for a while. We know that Speed came out last year, and for the first time, Corey Graves not appear on the episode. He was replaced by another commentator. His name is Blake Howard. So we know that that's issues there too. This lets you know that this is not a work. It is definitely a real thing. This is not no storyline for him to come back to wrestle. And another thing too, Corey Graves also has mentioned if he were to wrestle, it will be a one-off. It will not be full-time. I don't think they'll build a storyline around that just to have a one-off match. Let's be honest here. And that's all I have regarding Corey Graves set to leave WWE. You let me know what you think of the situation. Soon to videos will pop up, guys. Click the links below. Until then, you already know what it is. OUT.